Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durban, and for this spoiler-free review, I'm doing this in collaboration with another YouTube channel, Jody's Corner. We're actually doing a review swap. And now I'd like to introduce you to Jody of Jody's Corner, and here is his spoiler-free review for The Magnificent Seven.
YouTube is good. It's your boy Jody Jones. I'm coming at you with a movie review of The Magnificent Seven. Before I get into this review, I want to give a special thank you to Durban for having me on your channel. Thank you very much, Play. I appreciate it. So good to be here, man. It's a different scenario going on around here. Hello, Durban subscribers. How you guys doing? I will be standing in for my main man, Durban, doing this spoiler-free review for you guys. Don't worry, though. Don't worry. If you want to find Durban, he's on my channel. Go check him out. We did a video swap. His spoiler-free review is on my channel, Jody's Corner. Be sure to go check that thing out. So, now that I'm here, let's go ahead and get into this spoiler-free review. Synopsis real quick. Basically, this is a simple Western movie. It's a simple story, if you will. It's basically about a town in I think it takes place in the 1870s. So the 19th century Western town that's being oppressed by these bad guys, led by, forgive me if I don't know actors' names, but I will tell you that this is the guy who was Sinestro's lackey from Green Lantern. He was also the main villain from Flight Plan. This, you know, the guy on Green Lantern, with that terrible squeaky toe-up voice? Yes, him. He's the villain in this film. He has a posse with him. He's trying to oppress these people because they're on some pretty rich land when it comes to gold mining. So this guy is not the ask type of person. He's the guy to just go ahead and say, get off the land. Deuces, get up out of here. I'm taking this land. It's mine. And he's not afraid to do whatever he feels like he needs to do to get what he wants. So he's oppressed these people. He's murdered some people. He's taken lives. This is a bad dude. So with the arrival of this new bad guy in town, the townspeople seek to elect a representative to go seek refuge, go get us some help. And that character is Haley Bennett. She plays Emma Cullen in the film. She goes and reaches out and finds Denzel Washington's character, the bounty hunter, lets him know the situation, somehow relates to him the distress that the town is feeling, and Denzel Washington's character, the bounty hunter, decides to lend his hand and help her. But he's not going to help her alone. He goes and he recruits 6 more individuals to form the Magnificent Seven. That's basically the premise of the story. So let's go ahead and talk about this spoiler freestyle. It's gonna be kind of hard because I really like talking spoilers and I don't want to give anything away to you guys, so I'll try my hardest. Let's talk about the Seven. Okay, they did have a great sense of camaraderie. I'll give it that. There was a little bit of humor in there. There's a little bit of little jokes, and some characters stood out more than most. To keep it 100 with you guys, Denzel Washington's character as the bounty hunter, solid performance. It's Denzel. Come on, this is what we expect. This is why he's getting $20 million a movie, right? Ethan Hawke's character, he played some character called Goodnight. He is known as the sharpshooter of the team. Let's go down the list. Vincent D'Onofrio, he plays Jack Horn. He's the big guy with the beard. You had Byung-hun Lee playing Billy Rocks. You had Manuel Garcia-Rulfo played Vasquez. He was the Mexican. Martin Sesmeyer played Red Harvest, which was the Native American. And that's pretty much your Magnificent Seven. Individually on the characters, these are the 3 standout characters personally for me. Might surprise you guys. Denzel Washington really wasn't a standout character because it was expected. This is something that kind of like threw me by surprise. It was the tracker played by Vincent D'Onofrio. Now this guy's roles are tight, man. I don't know if you guys know. He's the Punisher on Daredevil Netflix. You guys probably already knew that. He's also on Law & Order. He plays the detective on Law & Order. I think it's SVU. But did you guys know this? That guy plays Edgar from Men in Black. He plays the cockroach with the skin. Edgar, your skin's hanging off your bones. I put my hands on my head. Like this. That's him. That is him. This man can act. He's really good at tricking you to see who he is. You don't really know who he is. When I found out that was him off Men in Black, my mind popped. I couldn't believe that was him, but that was him. He played a great role in this film. He had a uniqueness to his voice. His character was very likable. No doubt, he stood out. But this is the really surprise. The assassin played by Byung-hun Lee. Yeah, I had a problem initially because I'm like, wait a minute. This is the Wild Wild West in the 19th century. Why is there an Asian cowboy? Yes, I knew that there's Asians and stuff because they laid railroad tracks down in the Wild West. Kind of like slave labor. But when I reacted to the trailer on my channel, I'm like, wait a minute. How the heck is this guy an Asian cowboy assassin on top of that? That's like, whoa. I'm like, wait a minute now. Now, I know that Magnificent Seven is an original movie that took place in the 1960s, but it's not fully original because it was inspired by, it's kind of a different adaptation of Seven Samurai, which is an Asian legendary film. So I know that it was inspired by that, so maybe that's the reason why he made his way over here. But hey, I gotta say, I like that character a lot. He surprised me. I did like the assassin. I really did. It's a little bit stereotypical, if you ask me, where the Asian has to be a martial artist and he has to be the assassin. He has to know karate and all that. You know, like he's a cowboy. So like, I do like the fact that they addressed why he was there in the film, because even Antoine Fuqua decided to put attention to why he's in this movie, and they explained it. So yeah, I appreciate him for doing that. Another character for me was the Native American. He was a standout for me. I really liked him. Even though he didn't have that much dialogue, I felt where he was coming from. You knew he was about that business, and you really wanted to see what he was going to get into. Chris Pratt did a really good job as this character, you know. So yeah, the characters individually, this is the picture I'm trying to paint for you guys. The cast individually was pretty solid. I personally did not like the sharpshooter. He was my least favorite character. I believe that he didn't need to be in this film at all. Ethan Hawke's character, he plays the sharpshooter because there wasn't much sharpshooting going around from him. He kind of didn't really live up to his nickname, if you ask me. But overall, the characters were solid. Did you feel the camaraderie even though you're seeing it on camera? I feel it as an audience member? No, I didn't. I didn't feel the camaraderie. I didn't feel like it was a natural, organic type of relationship. And you know, that's a hard thing to do. The reason why I believe this is so is because the way that the Magnificent Seven came together was kind of rushed. You know what I'm saying? It maybe 20-25 minutes in, you got your Magnificent Seven. I mean, they should have had more motivation of why they decided to get together, why they're doing this in the first place. You know what I'm saying? That would have given me more depth into the characters. It would have made me have more love and affinity for these characters. Now, did I care about the whole Magnificent Seven? No. Some things might have happened in this movie that should try to pull on your heartstrings somewhat, but it fell flat, if you ask me, because they didn't delve into each individual character enough to get me personally to care about them enough. And I believe that there were some characters that did things that was considered out of character, if you ask me. To be honest, Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt got the lion's share of the script roles and the lines in this film, and the action sequences as well. Is that fair? I don't know. I'm not so sure. You know, it's a Denzel Washington movie. I expect that. Chris Pratt's a big star coming off of, Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic World, movies like that. I could see how they're trying to ride the coattail of the fame and all that, but this is called the Magnificent Seven. You do have Ethan Hawke in this thing. You do have Vincent D'Onofrio. I really wish that I saw more of the tracker. He was a fan favorite for everybody in the doggone movie theater. So let's talk about the bad guy. This is a bad guy who, in the first 15 minutes, let me know this dude is real. He did some things. He said some things. The way he carried himself, his mannerisms, the way he stared, glanced, gazed, talked, looked. He was living the role of a menacing character, and I was feeling it. I'm sitting back in the seat like, oh, this dude is bad. I don't like this dude, and that's a good thing. If I hate the villain, that's a really good thing. You're making me get the hate that I should have for this villain, so when it comes time for this villain to be thwarted and done away with, I should be satisfied. Was I satisfied if this villain was done and thwarted? Absolutely not. They dropped the ball in the final act of this film completely because motivations that characters you wanted to have resolved with this villain didn't really happen. I got a problem with that. That's just being real. Chris Pratt's character had a scene. He's the gambler. Not much gambling involved with this character, but Fine. He had a scene at the end of this film that didn't make sense. There was a scene that come up, the last scene that Chris Pratt wanted to do his little hoorah action time. You're kind of sitting back like, dang, did you really have to do that? Was that necessary? And then something happened that demanded that I believe Antoine Fuqua was trying to have us feel some type of way, but honestly, for me personally, I didn't feel the way I believe I should have felt in certain scenes of this movie. The tracker, Vincent D'Onofrio. There was another scene with him and his hoorah moment. You know, every character gets their little moment, and in his hoorah moment, it didn't make sense. His motivations for doing what he did in this said scene was like, really? Why? You didn't have to do that. You could have did something completely different, and the outcome would have been much better. I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense. They built him to be this type of guy and then showed us a scene in the final act that kind of went against that. It wasn't really smart, if you ask me. You know, there's a lot of whys in this movie. Like, why are they doing this? Why would you do that? It was like, wait, why did they have to do this? And the sharpshooter, that dude was full of whys. Ethan Hawke's character, the sharpshooter, there was whys all around. First of all, number one why is, why are you called the sharpshooter? Because wasn't no shooting sharp anywhere up in this movie. Straight up. If he was truly a sharpshooter, he could have ended this movie a long time ago, especially in the final act. If you've seen this film, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you go see this film, remember these words. Why is he a sharpshooter? Just remember that. So yeah, there was some things, some choices that Antoine Fuqua chose. Like, there was lots of scenes where it was a lot of cut scenes. For instance, I'll give you an example. Denzel Washington, his character, they'll show a close-up. Antoine Fuqua will give him a solo close-up on Denzel of him shooting his gun, maybe 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. Then it'll be a cut scene to the villain who's getting shot by said Denzel Washington and the effect of it. It'll show the guy, take the bullets. Lots of that. That's cool if you put it in every now and then, but this movie was full of edit cut scenes. Boom, boom, boom. Take it. Boom, boom, boom. I would have appreciated to get at least just one single huge scope wide scene of action going on. You could have really panned out and showed, well, I kind of understand why they didn't pan out so far because of the set and the location, but you could have panned out wide enough to get at least 3 of the 7 characters in a nice little action sequence together of exchanges of gunfire and fights and all that. I could just picture seeing a nice wide shot of a sequence of upstairs, downstairs shenanigans, fights, gun dodges, and all that. I would have loved to see it. It was so, all right, Chris Pratt, you're on the camera now. Do your thing. You shoot. That's who you shot. Denzel, it's your turn. You're shooting. That's who you shot. All right, man. Come on, Trackers, your turn. Come on, it's your turn, Assassin. Come on, Native American. It was a lot of that, and it wasn't enough action taken together. With something called the Magnificent Seven, you would think that they would all have a team up moment, like where they, as a group, do something collectively together. But that's not what this movie was. This movie was, okay, we're a team. Now everybody, go do your thing. Everybody did their individual thing, but they didn't do anything as a team to accomplish a goal, which is something that you expect with any type of collaboration movie. So yeah, there was definitely problems with this movie. The directing from Antoine Fuqua, he has a lot of good movies. He's done Tears of the Sun. That's a freaking good movie. He's done a lot of other good movies. I'm just going off the top of my head. Bait. He did Bait. Another good movie. King Arthur. He did that. That's a good movie. See, he's a good director, but in this film, he kind of fumbled the ball a little bit. Personally, if you ask me, his shot selections, beautiful scenes and landscapes, though, I'll give it that. But in the end scene, in the end of the movie, it was probably one of the last scenes in the film. There was this pan of a scene. I won't describe the scene, but you will see it as soon as you see it. It is a completely CGI rendered scene that didn't need to be CGI rendered whatsoever. That just tells me that you weren't on location for a lot of this movie. A lot of it was done on like a stage set. And it's like, oh man, come on. You panned a landscape that was completely computer generated. And it stuck out like a sore thumb. And I'm like, really? Why? Why couldn't you guys just create this? It was so simple. I don't even want to get into details what it was. But I will say that the action was good. It's a really good popcorn movie. You know what I'm saying? You and your homeboys go sit in the theater and, oh man, you see Chris? Look at Chris Pratt go. Denzel. That's my dude. Look at Denzel. It's one of those type of movies you can sit back, check logic at the door, and just see a nice throwback Western movie made in 2016. Because overall, that's what this movie feels like. It doesn't feel like an authentic Western movie. It feels like a Western genre movie made in 2016. You guys know what I'm talking about? It doesn't feel like a 2016 production that was created and took place in 1870. For instance, like the way that the set was built. Perfectly carved and created stairs. No wear on them, no chips, no holes. I mean, the way that the font was on the buildings, it was too new. It was too modern. And that took it, believe it or not, it takes away from the real feeling of the town. And, it's just some of the clothes, some of the costumes, it's little stuff like that. But like I said, some logic checked at the door. Just sit back and don't be trying to analyze the film. If you just want to see a nice, enjoyable film, this could be that film. Overall, I would have to give this movie, The Magnificent Seven, a C. Not what I expected to give it. A lot of high praise for this movie with a lot of critics on YouTube. I've seen about 5 movie reviews for this movie, and grades are pretty high. I will say this, it is so far the best movie of September. A lot of trash this month. This summer, I think has a lot to do with the movies we got this summer of 2016. A lot of them were mediocre and weak. So we finally see a movie that's decent, and it's like, oh wow, finally we got one that's not all absolute trash. Woo! It's a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I hope you guys like this movie review. I hope I don't come across as a hater. I'm just being 100% being honest with the way I see the movie. If you like this video, go ahead and give this video a like. Put down in the comment section how you guys feel. Comment freely all day. I keep it 100. That's just what we do. Durban, thanks for having me on your channel, man. And once again, thank you to Durban subscribers for watching this video. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out this thing, man. Deuces.
Thank you, Jody. That was Jody of Jody's Corner, and that was his spoiler-free review for The Magnificent Seven. We're doing this video in collaboration, so if you want to see my spoiler-free review for The Magnificent Seven, check that out on Jody's Corner on his YouTube channel. The link for that is in the description below. Also, you can check that out right here. Coming up here Saturday, going to be doing my spoiler talk with John Mars. He was the shooting instructor in that awesome shooting video we did with the cowboy guns and all that stuff. That was really fun. That bruise, though, yeah, that's the 12-gauge shotgun when you don't put it right in your shoulder. Oh, the recoil! Hit that subscribe button, be a part of it. Check out Jody's Corner. Tell him Durban sent you. I'm Durban. Thank you so much for checking out Durbania.